The matter of the Dajjal is quite a very peculiar and confusing one until he actually arrives. Because here's the next story that will let a person ask a lot of questions about what a Dajjal really is and what are his powers. Was he Ibn Sayyad, or was he someone else, or does he actually live at the moment is unknown, or whether he's dead is unknown. There is a hadith narrated by this companion called Tamim Ad-Dari. Al-Rasul ﷺ called the people of Medina one day and said, "Come quickly to the masjid." So they came and sat in the masjid, and Al-Rasul ﷺ stood up with his stick. Every time he wanted to address the people, he would stand up, a bit of a high position on a rock or something, and he would hold a stick with him. And he said to them, "Do you know why I have gathered you here?" They said, "Allah and His Messenger." No, it wasn't time of prayer, it wasn't time of anything. He said, "I did not call you because of some kind of good news or bad news that you should fear or anything like in particular right now. However, this man here who I have, Tamim Ad-Dari, has just told me something that I have always told you about."
Tamim Ad-Dari, he explains now. He said, "We sailed with 30 men. So this is very important because some people, they say, oh, maybe he was confused. No, it wasn't just him. He sailed with 30 men from the Qabila of Lakhm and Jud'am. These are, again, two Qabail that were in the Sham area. He said, we went out because they used to go out on the oceans. The Arab that were closer to seaports, like the place of Palestine, that's next to the ocean, they would go out. So he said, we would go out and 30 men with us on a boat, we went out. And we got lost at sea. The ocean, it had, the waves were high, and we got lost. To the point that we had no idea where we were. And 30 days we were lost. They went far. 30 days, a whole month, we were lost at sea. Now, exactly where did they go, we don't know. The hadith does not mention. But they said we were lost until we found an island. And because they were at sea, they said they went out so far, it was the ocean water, salty water. So they couldn't drink from it. So they said that the water was salty, so when we saw the island, we hoped that there was fresh water, so we could bring some. So we took a smaller boat and we set out to the island.
He says, a beast came to us on this island. It had so much hair on it that we could not tell the front from its back. Which was its head, which was its tail. Don't know. And we said, Waylaki ma anti. Woe to you, what are you? Never seen a creature like you before. And she spoke. The beast said, Ana al-Jassasa. I am, you can say al-Jassasa comes from the word spy, or the passer of news. They said, Wama al-Jassasa, what is this al-Jassasa, this spy or this passer of news? And then the beast said, Ayyuha al-Qawm, people, intaliqu ila hadha al-rajul fi ad-dayr. Come to this man who is waiting for you in a dayr. A dayr was known in those days as being like a place where people used to worship. Like where monks or people used to dedicate their life for worship, they used to sit in there and worship. They said, when the beast told us about this man, a man, they said, we ran away from the beast immediately thinking it was a jinn or a shaitan or something, and ran to this man, to this human being. We entered this hut that was set for worship, and suddenly we saw in front of us a person, a man who was the biggest in build that we have yet to have seen. And he was so coarse in his body and in his features, strong and coarse and big. His arms were wrapped to his neck with chains, and his head and arms were also chained together to his knees, to his legs, like this. He can barely just look up, and he's chained up really well, he couldn't move. We said, what are you? And he said, you are able to hurt me because I'm chained up. So it's my right to ask, who are you first, so I can ensure my safety. They said, very well. We are people from the Arabs. We set sail in our ship, and a storm hit us until we became lost and landed on this island. We came to this island and we found this beast that came to us that had so much hair on it, and it led us to you. They said we got afraid of this man and we didn't feel safe around him. However, the man said to us, tell me about the palm trees of Baysan. Baysan is a city in Jordan, and he wanted to know whether there were palm trees planted in there a lot. We said, what do you exactly want to know about Baysan in Jordan? He said, I ask you, are there more palm trees and have they be filled with dates or not yet? They said, yes, it is full of palm trees and full of dates, more than many other places in what we know. He said, soon its palm trees and dates will become scarce, will no longer give fruits. Today, really, in Jordan, dates are scarce now. It used to be in history, abundance.
Now, regarding this hadith, when I was studying this particular hadith in Sahih Muslim from one of the shuyukh in Pakistan, he told me that I met people from that area. And I actually Google mapped it as well. And there were a large amount of trees there that are gone today. And those people have confirmed that today, that area, the trees do not bear fruits anymore. Now this is something that didn't happen in the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but it has happened in our time. And this is the hadith of Tamim Ad-Dari.
Now listen. He said, now explain to me about Buhayra Tabariya. You know what Tabariya is? Which ocean, which sea that is? Okay, the Tabariya Sea. It's also close to Heshtem. They said, what do you want to know about it? He said, does it have water in it? They said, yes, there's lots of water. He said, soon its water is going to go away. It's not going to exist anymore. And truly today, the water has gone drier than before. Then he asked them, he said, tell me about Zaghar fountain. And Zaghar fountain is somewhere near Jerusalem, Bayt al-Maqdis. Probably about 3 days journey if you wanted to walk away from Jerusalem, Bayt al-Maqdis, that's where that fountain is. So basically in what we call Israel today. They said, what do you want to know about this fountain? He said, well, is there a large fountain happening and a great river from it? And do people plant a lot of vegetation around it and it gives a lot of water yet? They said, yes, it's got a lot of water and its people plant a lot. They said, okay, tell me about a prophet who is ummi, who is illiterate, cannot read or write. What has he done? They said he has come out in Mecca and now he lives in Yathrib, in Medina. He asked them, have his people fought him? They said, yes. He said, what did he do? They said, he was driven out by his own people. But he went to another Arab, who are the Yathrib people and those who embraced Islam with him, and they obeyed him. This man said to them, really? Has that really happened? They said, yes. He said, أَمَا إِنَّ ذَاكَ خَيْرٌ لَهُمْ أَن يُطِيعُوهُ. He said, behold, it is better for those people who obey him to keep on obeying him. He's actually supporting the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. وَإِنِّي مُخْبِرُكُمْ عَنِّي. Now I'm going to tell you about myself. إِنِّي أَنَا الْمَسِيحِ. I am Christ. وَإِنِّي أُوشَكُ أَنْ يُؤْذَنَ لِي فِي الْخُرُوجِ فَأَخْرُجْ. He said, now very soon, based on the signs you've showed me, I'm going to be given permission to leave and I'm going to come out. فَأَسِيرُ فِي الْأَرْضِ. I will walk throughout the land. فَلَا أَدَعْ قَرْيَةً إِلَّا هَبَطْتُهَا فِي 40 لَيْلَةً. He said, there wouldn't be a village or a city or a place on earth except that I would have reached it. All in 40 days. The whole world in 40 days.
And we know this will come. And from this hadith we know that clearly Sahaba even saw him. Now, how could he be alive all that time ago and so on? Allah willed it. He is a test from Allah, just like how He could bring people back from the dead in front of you, whether it's in the shape of jinn or so on, or show you a Jannah or Jahannam, by the will of Allah. That's a test. So now Tamim Ad-Dari, when he explained this, and he said, we saw this when we were freed, when we got away, we immediately tried to get back to our land, and when we got back, I immediately set out to Medina. He said this was enough for me with the other signs that Allah had shown me to know this is the messenger of Allah, and he came to Medina with 10 people and they accepted Islam.